When we were born, we didn't understand the meaning of love, but our parents did. From the very first moment they saw us, they gave their hearts away without hesitation. They held us gently even when we screamed through the night. They watched over us when we were sick, scared, or restless. While we were unaware of the world, they had already made a silent vow to protect us from every harm, even if it cost them everything. We were too small to understand the weight of their sacrifices, but they carried it anyway, gladly, without complaint. They gave up sleep, comfort, and sometimes even their own dreams to make ours come true. They walked long distances so we could go to school. They skipped meals just so we could eat better. They put our needs before their own, again and again. And they did it with love. They never asked for thanks. They never waited for recognition. Their love wasn't loud or demanding. It was quiet, steady, unconditional. The kind of love that wraps around you like a warm blanket and never asks for anything in return except your happiness. But as time passed and we grew older, we changed. Our world became bigger. We found new people, new dreams, new distractions. We had less time to talk, less time to sit and listen, less time to be with the ones who once gave us everything. And still, they said nothing. They never made us feel guilty. They just smiled and said, "I know you're busy." Even when they longed to hear our voices, even when they waited all day for a visit that never came, they started to speak less, not because they had nothing to say, but because they saw we were no longer listening. They began to ask fewer questions, not because they didn't care, but because they didn't want to burden us. They noticed the distance, but they never made it our fault. They just kept loving us silently, holding on to the hope that maybe one day we'd come back to them, not with gifts or money, but with time, with presence, with attention. And as they age, they grow more fragile. They walk slower now, hoping someone might take their hand, just like they once took ours when we were learning to walk. They ask how we are, even when no one asks how they're doing. They cheer for our successes, even when their own joys are forgotten. What they really want is simple. They want to be seen, to be heard, to be remembered, not just on holidays or in emergencies, but in the ordinary moments of life, the way they once included us in every moment of theirs. But we get so busy chasing success, money, and recognition that we forget the people who gave us everything before we had anything. We climb ladders, we build careers, we travel far and wide. And then one day we turn around, and they're not there anymore. That chair they used to sit in is now empty. That voice that used to call your name is now silent. That home that once smelled of love and laughter now feels cold and unfamiliar. And suddenly, you remember all the things you meant to say, but didn't. The visits you kept delaying. The stories you never listened to. The hug you didn't give. The birthday you forgot to call on. And no amount of success will ever ease that ache. Because parents don't live forever. And when they're gone, the emptiness they leave behind cannot be filled. You'll search for their scent in old clothes. You'll replay their voicemails over and over. You'll ache for one more moment, one more conversation, one more chance to say, "I love you." But time is cruel. It doesn't wait, it doesn't pause, and it doesn't give second chances. So while they're still here, be there. Call your mother, sit with your father, ask them how they really feel. Give them your time. Not just your money, not just your leftover energy, but your heart. Listen to their stories, even if you've heard them before. Laugh with them, hold their hand. Make them feel the love they always gave so freely. Because once they're gone, you'll realize that nothing in the world, not success, not fame, not even your own family, can replace the love of your parents. People may come and go in your life, friends may change, relationships may end, but your parents, they are the only ones who loved you before you even knew what love was. They are the only ones who cried for you in silence and celebrated you in private. They are the only ones who gave everything and asked for nothing. No one can replace your parents. No one ever will.